Hello,
everybody. Wave to the masses, to the millions out there that are watching us, guys. For watching us live on Facebook and watching us live on YouTube also as well. If you haven't subscribed, as they say, make sure you tick that box. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. And hi, Christine. We are live. Oh, my gosh. I do believe the 1st of June was 1 year of the Simply Together show.
Can you believe that?
Come on, guys. Give the pat on the come on. We've got to give it to ourselves. We have to give it to ourselves. Because if you remember, so for those of you that are watching, welcome. Please, please, please share. This is one of those things that kind of download into the head. Shelley was in the hub at the time, I believe, with V. And I'm like, Shelley, V, got this little idea. It's like, they're like, oh, put it to the group. And if I say to you, we probably spent over 2 hours just trying to figure out the name.
Yes.
Just trying to figure out the name. And it was like, right, yeah, we're going to go with. And as soon, when you know something, oh my gosh, I'm going to stop now because we have a, we have a young lady. Not that none of us are young. Don't get me wrong. Don't get twisted, you guys out there. Do you see that young lady? We have the lovely Cecile and we have the lovely Rem. Hi, Rem. Rem is off to work, but Rem is part of the Simply D's posse and the Life Inner Outer Lockdown crew. Rem, what we're doing, we're going to talk kind of later on because you're disappearing. It'd be really great to hear from you. If you could just share just very quickly, just a couple of things with us, i.e. as in this past year, because this is when the show's been on. If you want to share something that's like been yay, and something that's may have been a challenge, something that you're working on, or maybe it was a challenge and now you've got there. If you don't mind.
So something good that's happening is we did our second book for this year.
Yeah! We certainly did. Who's got it? Who's got the book?
We've got some.
Yeah. I've got people, guys. Hi, Louise. Got people that are, that's it. That's the book that Remy's talking about. So if you haven't got it, Life Out of Lockdown 2021, Beyond Closed Doors. So that's a good thing. Do you want to name a challenge?
Yeah. So literally last year to the day, I think, or give or take a day, I was diagnosed with PTSD. And I thought that was like the end for me. But now I'm basically a manager at work. I am in counselling and I am off my medication.
Oh!
Not me too, baby.
Oh my God. I didn't know a fraction of those things. So I know there's people within the Life in a Lockdown crew or Simply D's and people that have followed and know some of your journey. And obviously if they were to get the books, they know a little bit more. Just suggesting, guys, But let me just recap. Did you say manager? Did she say manager, Shell? She said manager, didn't she? She used the word.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you were diagnosed, it wasn't a bad thing.
No. I think at the time it felt bad, but it was probably the best thing that happened because then I knew what to do and what help I could get. And now I feel like I'm in a better place.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, darling. I know before you kind of lose your job and we get the blame.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go.
The video. I'm late because.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the show. Oh, thanks, Red. We'll catch up soon, darling. Bye.
Bye.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. You must be. Proud isn't the word, Cecile. I don't even know what words to use.
Yeah, whatever word is bigger than proud. You know, just absolutely, it's and like she said, having that diagnosis was not the end of the world. It was actually the beginning, because it's then she's been able to access all these different services, been in therapy, still continuing on that journey. But yeah, it's just that we've said it many times about COVID and lockdown, and obviously for a lot of people that was absolutely horrendous. But for some of us, it was the beginning of something new and even better. So yeah, she's on a journey.
Excellent. Well, do you know what? If we're being honest, we're all on a journey, aren't we? We're all on a journey, and it's just how we navigate, I think, through that. So I'm going to throw to one of you guys, because I'm hosting later today. So I'm going to hand to one of you guys to kind of do a bit of a round robin. We're just having a chat, we're having a conversation to the masses out there. Please get involved. Please share. Give us your thoughts, opinions, and views, and how maybe the past year's been for you. Any challenges, or maybe, I don't know whether you want to call them wins or just good things. So I don't know. Let's chat to the young, lovely lady who lives in Leeds.
Can I just say?
Yeah,
of course.
With regards to diagnosis of something, quite a lot of people are frightened to have that tag.
Yeah.
And it's not the tag that you think it's going to be. Whether that be with your mental health, whether that be with something like autism, for instance, as I know quite a bit about, it doesn't mean that you're that diagnosis. It's giving you a tool to actually understand what's going on and move forward from it. There's quite a lot of people that will hide from particular diagnosis and won't actually go and get the help because they're frightened of being classed as a certain thing.
Yeah.
And it goes across the whole board of different things. So it is amazing that is that it just shows you that things can open up to you if you're honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I think also it's the people that you have around you. Again, we've always said, you know, you need a village. You need that village around you. So for her, you know, I said quite clearly, that's what you've got, the diagnosis. Now you'll get the support. That is not who you are. That's not going to stop you from doing anything. And I think if you've, and all of the Simply D's, the whole Simply group have been there supporting Remy and her friends and family. So I think if you have that village, and that village might only be one person, if you've got somebody who's going to support you there, then that diagnosis doesn't just become and encompass you, does it? You then kind of work with it and use it for what you need it for.
Yeah. I mean, how many times do you go to your auntie or your cousin rather than your mum for something? Yeah. And that is just like us as a wider circle.
Yeah.
So
because it's not necessarily sometimes the family that you will go to for things, and it may be the ones that you may be having to stay away from, so to speak. So if there's others out there that can support in whatever shape or form that might be, then it's great that we can actually kind of share that. Welcome V and everybody else who is watching today. As you know, we are celebrating, my God, 1 year. Yay! And correct me if I am wrong, because these guys are very good at doing that, by the way. Apart from maybe 3-4 weeks, I think we have been on air literally every Tuesday. Am I right? Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's 52 weeks of a year, and you're telling me about 48 shows or something like that we've probably done.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Pretty amazing stuff. Helen lives in Leeds, everybody, but guess what? Helen's actually in Luton at the moment. But Helen, what we thought we'd do, rather than have special guests on, because we're all special, and we're just giving ourselves an opportunity and obviously engaging the audience as well. We were sort of saying, like, what's kind of been great for you or good for you this past year, and if you want to share something that's been challenging.
Right. Well, obviously the book has been really good, and I obviously did the calendar to go with that book, which was an achievement for me because I learnt a lot few more skills. Also, one of the best things that happened was in July when Stuart, my alcoholic boyfriend, departed to Eastbourne. And basically, since then, my life has improved. And I've been getting rid of all the negativity in the house. And I can honestly say my life now is 100% better. For anybody that's going through anything like abuse or whatever, please share it with other people and get the help that's out there. You don't have to put up with the crap that I put up with for 2 years. To have somebody make you feel like you want to kill yourself and make you feel like you're less of a person and is not right. And I've been getting my house sorted out, my flat sorted, and I've got my living room really, really nice and cozy. And one of the things that he used to tell me was that nobody came to visit me because my house stinks and smelt. So now that I've got my house like how I want it, I actually invited somebody over for the first time in two and a half years. And it felt so invigorating to have somebody there and know that the house doesn't smell and that people will come and visit. So that's my, highlight really of the year. And obviously I've had some health issues as well, which are ongoing, but I now know that I'm going to be electroded up eventually, wired up for sound. And hopefully it'll work.
Oh, that is fabulous, Helen. And thank you for sharing, because you have shared and with us, which is what you've said. I'm sure at some point Shelley will put some information in the chat. And for those of you that don't know, we will talk about it nearer to the end. But on Thursday, we will do part 2 of our domestic abuse workshops, which that's from demand. We're going to do another one, and I'm sure there's going to be more. And it's about people sort of like knowing the signs. And when we think we know things, I'm telling you now, the amount of shows I've done, the amount of people I've met, and I am always learning. So when you think you know something, it is still worth a listen, because I know for a fact you will still gain more information. So thank you for sharing that. Cecile, I'm going to hand to you.
So what we're looking at, we're looking at something good and something that's a challenge in the past year. There's been many good, many being on here, being a co-host has just kind of given me that positive vibe that I can actually do something like this. And obviously book 2, absolutely fantastic. Building my private practice. I'm a counsellor. So I do youth counselling, adult counselling, LGBTQ plus counselling, various, so I'm building up my own private practice. which started just after lockdown started, really. So there's been a lot of positives, and there's going to be more. I know there is. There's definitely going to be more. Challenges. So one of the challenges for me is to let go of my previous work life. So for 28 years, I've been manager within learning dis, mental health services. And then I stepped down to a senior, and then I stepped down to a carer. And now I'm bank, and I'm still there, and I need to let it go. So I need to just, I do like one shift a week. Some weeks I don't do any. I know that the next step is to let that go. So that's a challenge, because that's my safety. It's been there for so many, many years. And I forget that I've actually been a counsellor for 16 years. I forget that. It feels like I've only just been a counsellor, but I've actually been one for 16 years. So I need to let go of my previous work life so that I can immerse myself in my new work life. And
it's as you said, it's safety, isn't it? It's like, I've let go, but I haven't fully let go because I'm scared. Because what happens if I don't have that? Oh my gosh, what?
It's going out the comfort zone.
And I think I've been out of my comfort zone so many times. I know that this is another one that I need to do. That is the last bit of comfort zone that I need to then step away from. I need to, and I know that. Obviously, all the stuff with Remy, I have to make sure that I'm not pushing too much, and she has to do things in her time. So I've had to take that step back. I've been a manager for years, so you don't do a step back, do you? You stay right in there. So I know I have taken that step back, and I mean, we have a very good relationship, wonderful relationship. So if she needs something, then she will say, and if she doesn't, she will also say. So, that's been a challenge. And then I think my last challenge is the Simply Together show, when we're in the hub and there's no signal. People in their cars. Last week we had Jezebel in. Yes, because it makes me go like this. Oh, people can't hear.
Oh, does it? Oh, bless.
So yes, it's a bit of both. It's a challenge, but I also laugh because it's live. We're live, and this is what happens, So yes, that whole delay. It's like, really? I can't do that. I don't like it.
Oh, bless you.
Yes. Oh, I co-hosted International Women's Day. That was fabulous.
I know. See, you forgot. When you forget things. You co-hosted that. Then what did you do at Ant Hill Festival? Being on talk shows.
Yes. Yeah. But because those things are now, once you've done it and you've stepped out of your comfort zone, they now become part of you. So it doesn't feel, so scary. So I kind of move them out of the scary stuff into what I need to build on and make this my everyday stuff. So yeah.
Oh, check you out. Lovely. Did you see somebody sneak in just then, everybody?
You did.
We're going to give you a moment. We're going to give you a moment. That young lady that sometimes she's not on the screen, but when she's on the screen, she ain't going to get off the screen. I'll tell you that right now. But you know her as producing. But again, I'm going to let Shelley share, but I know what I've seen in the past, certainly a year or so. So I'm going to hand over to Shelley. Shelley Titmus. Put on the timer, guys. Put on the timer because yeah.
How am I going to fit in the whole year? Yeah.
Because you're not. You're going to pick. You're going to pick.
Yeah. I suppose we started off and we'd got the hub and everything else, and then everything kind of stopped in a way. But I think over the last year, where things have started to open up, we've kind of done a jump in things. So where I'm a baker and I do all my own Shelley Scrumptious stuff, stepping back from doing cakes as such and then doing the fudge and all those kind of bits, I'm kind of getting into like craft shows and stuff. So then I'm kind of going into these other different places. So for the next 6 months, I'm going to be in Stockwood Park. So yes, that's quite a big crafty thing. And that's all because we did one thing and then it goes on to something else and it goes on to something else. But I suppose catching up through COVID, I've ended up finally going to Buckingham Palace. Like afternoon tea. Yes, so me and Mum finally did the garden party. So that was booked in the year that like COVID started. But then it's kind of, we've now been as part of the whole of the history of then being part of the Jubilee year, as it's been sort of like knocked back. So that felt very, very different, taking Mum down there. But then I was then kind of thinking just now when I was saying about like that, in a year, Mum living on her own in Weymouth, that she has had a stroke, that she has lost her, well, she hasn't lost her sight, she's lost the vision. Brain doesn't work out what her eyes are doing, basically, on one side. So we've just got on with it. Mum's just got on with it. And taking Mum down in a different situation than what was originally booked, because I didn't say that Mum was going to be in a wheelchair. We decided to take Mum down in the wheelchair because it would be easier for her. Not that she needs it, but I could keep control of her. Bless her. But yeah, it's just different things have happened. And then if you look back on a year and you go, oh yeah. And then all of my health things. So I was waiting for the date of the operation to have a parathyroid removed, which is a little gland in your neck. So I was panicking that they were going to fall on the same week, and they didn't. They fell one Wednesday, I'm in Buckingham Palace. The next Wednesday, I'm in Luton Dunstop Hospital having an operation. So all in all, I think a year, when you look back and you think, oh, what on earth? How? Why? How did things happen in a particular way? And I can keep going back to my quote and sort of, as you were saying about the calendar, because it's like mine and Munya's month this month. Just hold the thing. If you get given a chance to do something, just jump, do it, hold on to it, hold on tight, because it's going to go fast, and you just don't know where it's going to lead you. You just have not got a clue. And I think that's what this year's been.
Can I just say that's not even half. That is not even half of what Shelley does. That's not even a fraction. We would not be here doing the things we do smoothly if it wasn't for Shelley, you know? So Dee's now learnt how to do this whole StreamYard thing. But Shelley does all of that, puts everything together for us. Any crazy idea that Dee comes up with, Shelley is the one.
Why me?
Because it is you. But Shelley is the one that puts all those things together, you know, and the charity work that you do and the volunteer work that you do. Yeah, that's only a fraction of what you said.
Well, when we was at Buckingham Palace, everyone, because my mum's like me, talks to anyone, and everyone was obviously talking down to mum because she's in the chair, and all the time she kept saying, "But I'm only a guest. It's my daughter that's got the actual invitation for coming." And every time mum said that, I kept saying, "Well, the only reason is because how you brought me up. She was the one that was the volunteering, going to church, being all the different church groups, doing anything she could for the kids at school, because she was a dinner lady at school, you know, like the playground duty dinner lady, not the cooking dinner lady. And she would do anything for the kids. And then my dad's dad, would be exactly the same. He was at the Working's Men Club. I mean, not so much when I was little, but when my brother and sister were little, that Granddad would then say on a Christmas day, he's gone up the club for the morning, people are going home for dinner on their own. They wouldn't. He would drag them back to our house because we lived with him, and they would have Christmas dinner with us. And I said, I'm only do my volunteer work, my fundraising, my anything else because of the role models that I had. So I had to take mum. Of course, she's a big Royal fan anyway, but I had to take mum. So, yeah. That stopped everyone talking, didn't it?
Because you're in a flow, and just due to time, because we do have time constraints. We do. I know it's hard to believe, everyone, but we do. But there is so much more. And I don't know, we're going to switch a few things up moving forward. The guys are going like, really? She's not said that. we are. we are. But that young lady that's just snuck in. Greetings, a lovely Nike. Greetings. How are you?
I'm off mute now. It's all good, thank you. Very good. It was nice to meet you. I snuck out of that hospital quite quickly. Well, actually, it wasn't quickly. They kept me waiting an hour. I did want to say to the consultant, you do realise that you're keeping important people waiting. What? I didn't. In fact, I was so excited. Like, yes. So we have been discharged. So we're very happy.
Hey.
So you can travel now. Yeah, well traveled now. I will be back on the road. I'll be out there flitting around Luton.
Oh,
so yeah.
Help us. So what we've been sharing today, Nike, is we're celebrating 1 year of the Simply Together show. So welcome as a fairly new co-host. You're not new anymore. We'll forget that. You're not new anymore. You've been with us a while now. But what we want to do is, if you could share maybe in the past year, just something great that's happened, and maybe something that's been a challenge for you.
Something
if you don't
great
mind.
That's happened. Oh my God.
Right, good, you know.
Well, something great. I don't know. Well, for me right now, I'm still enjoying the book launch. You know, the second book. The first one will always be the child, the baby, because, you know, it's the first time. But for me, that is definitely the thing. And as I always say, mixing with you mad lot. And so, yeah. And when I joined, I did hear Cecile talking about comfort zone. And one of the things I want to mention, because obviously we all talk about comfort zone all of the time, especially me. If you go on my Instagram, comfort zone. But what I never really took on board until it was necessary, the fact that you can come out of your normal everyday comfort zone in a flash, because you don't know you're in a comfort zone. You know, I just alluded to the fact that, you know, to know me is to know that my car is an extension of me. I've only had 3 cars in my life, and they've all been my besties, and because it just has always represented freedom. I've never really lived anywhere. As much as I said, well, when I lived in London, transport was easy, but even in where I lived in London, it wasn't. So obviously, for those of you who know, you know, but you know, something exciting happened on the 26th of January. We ended up in the L&D, and all of a sudden I was outside. It was literally outside of the comfort zone. It wasn't having the operation or being in pain. It was just the fact that my freedom was gone. And I went from being somebody who did everything literally one day to not being able to do anything. And it sort of gives you an insight to what other people have experienced as a life. And you just think, wow. So yeah, so that was a new insight to being outside of the comfort zone for me. So that was it really. So the other thing as well as I learned that it's taken me a long time, but all of you know, I always talk about that book, the four agreements, and the second agreement there says, do not take things personally. So that is one of the things that I have learned definitely through lockdown with doing the job that I do, etc. And so yeah, while the train might have been in slow motion for the first 6 months of the year, I shall be looking forward to speeding up. And like you said, like Shelley says, just if you get an opportunity.
Good job and all, because with Shelley and Cecile, and you guys thought it was just me, but those two are starting to find a little groove now. And there are things in the pot now that honestly, if you're not part of Simply D's, you're going to wonder why you're not, and you're going to snooze. You are going to be losing out, because we've got so much happening, so much happening, and it's opportunities for everybody, aren't they? Shell, opportunities for everybody. You don't need to be gifted as such in any shape or form. You just want to try something or do something, contact us and we will help you. We will help you. So I am going to share. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say. Sorry, you don't need to be that mundane caterpillar. You need to be that glorious butterfly.
Woo! Yeah. Give it up, our Helen. And I do believe Helen may have quoted something along those lines in book 1.
Yes.
So that's why when we say get the books, if you want to know more of all the little things that are being dropped in now, you will find them in our books, Life in the Lockdown, Behind Closed Doors, and Life Out of Lockdown, Beyond Closed Doors. So, okay. So I'm going to share a couple of things, if that's okay. Everyone sort of like said about the book, and as much as kind of like the 2 books are out there, which is absolutely, when you think back and people are going, when did you guys do this? And they're like, lockdown. Nobody did anything in lockdown. We did an abundance. We did an abundance in lockdown, more than before we were actually in lockdown. So we've obviously we've got the book that's come out. Oh my gosh, what else? We've had the hub, the amazing community hub and collaborative store that people are still to today asking about and wanting to know what we're doing and where are we popping up next. When we say watch this space, we can't say that enough. And if you're not following us, you're not going to know until it's too late, and you're going to be, I missed out on an amazing opportunity. That's all I'm saying. That is work in progress. So don't think all of the hub stuff, that's all gone and forgotten about. We are, unless you put it out there to manifest it, we are going to have a space. Do you hear me, guys? We are going to have a space, and we are going to be doing all sorts. Shelley's going like, Lord of mercy. Cecile's going, shh. But anyway, we will, and we are. Let me think. Lots of different things. I'm just going to mention one more. And that was when I was with the lovely Cecile. And do you know what? I nearly didn't go. I nearly didn't. Because I was going to say, like, let Cecile and Shelley go. When I received a certificate of, what was it, Cecile? Oh my God. But it was a certificate
outstanding work in the community.
Yeah. And actually Claire's messaged me today about something, so I should remember that. Sorry, Claire. Sorry. So yeah, there's been so many different things that we've done and accomplished within the Simply D's world, things that weren't even in, when sort of like people have got a list of things. I've never had a list of things. I honestly haven't. I've never had a list of things. And it's just, it keeps happening. And then when people think you're slowing down, they're going, we are just ramping up. And that's no word of a lie. We are just gearing up, because things are happening even more so now. So thank you to everybody for all your support and everything that goes with that. So when we say challenges, for me, personally, I would say some relationships. Okay. And with that, I know now, and probably maybe even at the time would have known, is boundaries. And setting clear, not boundaries that you think people know, but setting clear boundaries so that there's no confusion. And I think for me, I think that's everybody in life, and that's whether it be your partners, your family, your friends, whatever it might be, as in boundaries, so that way then you know, they know, and there is a line. There is a line. So that has been one of, for me personally, a challenge, and sort of like knowing and ensuring that I set clear boundaries. So yeah, that's me. That's me. So we've got a few people that are watching, just a little few, because we have some real followers. Guys, we want to know what's been, you can share anything that you want to share. Maybe it's been a challenge, or maybe it's even been something that's great. And I know sort of like the people that are actually watching and that have been commenting in the chat, we know quite a few. I think we know all of you actually, and we do know some of those. So it'd be great if you could share some of that with us. What's the time? We're not going to go on too long. I know it's our anniversary show, but we're not going to go on too long today. But whilst the guys get themselves together, Shell, we are, some people might say, like halfway through the year. What, I'm scared. What are you anticipating for the second half?
All these things that you add into the diary, as well as 6 months up Stockwood Park and everything else. It's just a progression forward. That's all we can do. We've got a lot coming up, and a lot that we want to do. So I don't know how we're all going to fit all that in.
We're growing though, Shell. We're growing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is, you know, as much as Shelley's saying, so when we say we're growing, that is as in like, it's not a case of, oh, well, you're part of Simply D's maybe, but to be that, you need to do the work as well. You need to, when we say get involved, we mean get involved. You know, your get involved might be an hour, a month, or whatever that might be, but it is some form of contribution. It's not just a case of like, when the good times are there, you're going to ride the good times with us and yay. And because just like anything else, there's storms. Yeah, there's storms in all of our lives. Sorry, Nikkei?
I said, and there's calms.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, we have all of those, and that is part of what we do. And we, yeah.
Well, when we set up the CIC, we had those particular guidelines that we had to put in place to actually then say that you're an official CIC. Now, some of them out there are for specific reasons. So they are training for something, or they're providing support to a particular group. Simply D's Events is not that. Simply D's Events is a community-based group, and part of that is bringing the group in and promoting what's going on within, finding those people that hear about us, and finding out how we can incorporate what we're doing in with someone else. By going forward with the thing with myself as Shelley Scrumptious, going in and doing craft fairs, the guy from the Artisan Food Group who's putting on these events, really loves what Simply D's events is doing and what we're doing in the community, which is why that we have been invited to have it as a double thing for us to be at Stockwood. So things like that, where you can, oh, I did a craft fair with someone, and I can then say that you're going to be on this one. If we go to a wellbeing group, I know someone because we spoke to them a couple of weeks ago, and that is what we are all about. And keeping that network together then involves some kind of togetherness as part of it. We've already had 2 books that then made us closer, but going forward, where we're now doing events out in the community, there might be something else going on that we're still trying to work out. Not a book, not a film, not a play, nothing like that. But something to as an actual networking type thing that keeps us all together, because we are only as good as the sum of our parts. Is that the right quote?
Yeah.
So if someone knows something, they should be then sharing, and that's exactly what our guidelines were when we first set up the CIC.
So for those that are watching, there will be membership. You heard the word here first. If you haven't heard it before, you're going to be hearing it a lot more. You're going to be hearing a lot more, and we'll be sort of like, when we get that sorted out, hopefully we can get that done. Well, it's going to be done very shortly, actually. Very shortly. The girls are going like, really? And you will hear more about.
People will.
Still, it's totally up to them. There is criteria. It's not, I want to become a member. How much is it? I'm in. It doesn't work like that. You don't just come in and you're in. We don't just let everybody in at it. most definitely. But yeah, there's so much to look forward to, guys. It's not just those that are on the screen, also those that are watching and listening outside. If you don't know how to contact us, I don't know why not. We say it all the time. We post it all the time. We ask, I think, pretty kindly. I'll stop asking kindly, but pretty kindly. You know, when we say share, it's not just for like we've had 20 shares. It's a case that there is always information. When I look back on shows and that, and it's like, I missed that, didn't see that. I know somebody that could do with that information, and you share and you pass it on. It's not for us to keep things within. It's for us to share so that somebody else can benefit, can gain. And the things that we are doing, and I'm not just saying this, we are changing and saving lives. We are. It's fact. Do you know what I mean? Shelley's thinking, Cecile, the guys know. I'm not just saying it and, oh, doesn't that sound wonderful? It's real. That is real talk. That is real talk. And I might be wrong in saying, but don't get me wrong. I've said that. At the same time, you can't save everybody. You can't save everybody. So we are here to help and support where we can. And we do an awful lot of signposting to various organisations.
And it is all the organisations that we've personally been in contact with in some form or another.
Yeah.
It's not that we have heard of X, Y, and Z. It's because we've actually been in contact with them, the different things that we've been doing, or that we've been asked to be part of. We do use our contacts, and that's why we get some of the smaller little independent-y kind of groups that are doing so good out there that actually need it, because it's, unfortunately, we're in a year of charities and projects that are plugging the holes in the system.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And to an extent, we're kind of one of those, are we not? With the various different things that we do. So, because we are going to wrap, I think Cecile may be able to do a little bit of a wrap, and then
As in a song?
Yeah, wrap up.
No,
you mean not wrap?
no.
Oh, you want me to wrap
up? Yeah, and when you do that, Cecile, we'll then have just like maybe a final couple of words, or just something that the guys might want to leave people with. So I want to do that before we get what we want to say first of all, so that people don't disappear and don't hear. So we've got some stuff coming up this week, Thursday, and then we've got a load of stuff. I think you've got a list, haven't you?
I have, but I need. I'm presuming this is only half of the actual list, because there's things that are now that I don't know about.
Cecile's got a list. I think I've done all the tickers for them. I don't know.
So I've got half
of the list, Cecile, and then Shelley and I will jump in accordingly.
Right. Okay. So Thursday we have got part 2 of our domestic abuse workshop. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It's because I love you so much. It's about the reality of domestic abuse. We need to get Helen on to come and share your story from the past 2 years and where you are now. That whole, the butterfly that's now emerged. Yeah. So that's 7 till 9 on Thursday. It's and we've got, just so that people know, it's a very emotional topic, but we have got myself and Daniela. We are both therapists who are there. So if anybody needs some support during that, we will go into breakout room and do that. So we're not just going to give that information and leave you with it. We're there, and it's going to be very supportive. So 16th of June is our Life in a Lockdown Zoom, 7 till 9. Come, if you've not been, come and see us. Come and say hello, come and see what we're doing and all these other things we've got in place. 3rd of July, I'm really excited. 3rd of July is the summer soiree. So most probably myself and Helen, but the other 3 on the screen have done these soirees, and they've been done for years.
Veterans.
This is now a new one for me. Oh, and Helen's still going to be here as well, because she's not going till the 4th. Yes. So we've got the summer soiree. So you need to get on, book your ticket, come and see what's going on. It's going to be fabulous.
There's exhibitor space available as well if anybody wants to exhibit on the day.
Exhibitor space. So don't forget that. Just contact us. 16th of July, we have got our health and wellbeing event, which is in conjunction with Futures House in Marsh Farm. That's going to be another one that's got lots of information and sharing around our health, our wellbeing, things that we need to know, things that we didn't know. If you know something, you can share with us. So that's going to be a really good event. 10 till 2, I think that one is.
Yeah, 10 to 2 is a free event, FREE, free. So there's no excuse. You drop in, you don't have to be there from 10 till 2. Drop in at any time. There's going to be lots of information stands and people for you to meet and connect with.
That's all I've got on my list. So if I've missed anything. Oh, yes. Yes. Stockwood Park, monthly craft and food fair. So if you live in Luton, you know where Stockwood Park is, you know where the Discovery Centre is, seriously. So the second Sunday of every month, 11 till 5. It's those, all of those are really good, crafts, you can't go wrong. Food, you can't go wrong. And then you're going to see Shelley and some of the Simply D's people are going to be up there with the things that we've got.
There'll be fudge there.
Fudge.
Fudge.
Fudge is to die for.
Oh my Lord.
Yes, fudge. There's the guy that's the Pinkster's gin. There's chili, gin. Yep. There's I think the chili guy is going to be there with the chili sauces. Craft side of things. I know there's a couple of people that are doing paper crafts and bits and pieces. So yeah. It's the first one this Sunday, and then it's then gradually just going to get bigger and bigger. So
excellent. So I think that's all of it.
Can I just ask a quick question, Shelley? Is that maybe I'm just having a brain freeze. Is it just on the second Sunday, or is it every other Sunday?
Every second Sunday of the month.
Every second Sunday of the month, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right up until Christmas, and then we might have a Christmas thing going on in conjunction with Stockwood Park that we could be involved in.
Wow.
There might be a little event going on up at Stockwood Park for Christmas, for the week up to Christmas.
Can I just say, those mites don't ever stay a mite.
And Andy kind of told me a little bit, and I don't know how much I can say. So
Don't say it.
I don't want to get told off and thrown out if I tell too much. I think
Don't forget
plans for Christmas Wonderland.
Because we've jumped. Sorry, because we've jumped around a bit. I did forget to mention. We will still be mentioning, but the lovely Daniela Swampakawi, who was in book 1, is having a book launch on Saturday, the 18th of June. Incredible lady. She's actually on the show tonight. I forgot to mention, got a show this evening, Real Talk with Simply D's, 7 till 10, live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm not even saying you better be there, because it's going to be your loss, not mine. I have got 5.
She's killing with the big boys, guys. She's killing with the big boys.
Sorry, Nikkei?
You're chilling with the big boys. I was just looking at the list in the cab on the way home. You've got all the guests that you've got. I'm like, okay, you've got to clear your calendar. You've got to listen to that one.
So Daniela will be on the show. We have got Yvonne Michelle, who's got an event this coming Sunday. I've got a lady called Alison Sawyer. I hope that's correct. And she's talking about, it's going to be lively. Who else have I forgot?
Judith, makeup.
Oh my God, how can I forget? The lovely Judith Jacobs. I'm sure she's going to be giving us some more jokes if you attended previously before. And lastly, so that's 4 females. And I've got a young man that's also going to be joining us. And he was on my very, very, very first show. Shelley will remember. The lovely Ashley Hines is going to be back with us tonight. So, I'm telling you now, I'm kind of like having to brace myself, get the gingers in place, because I reckon they're going to give me a run for me money tonight, so to speak. So please join us at 7 o'clock live, Facebook and YouTube. And if you've not subscribed, why not? That's what we want to know. Why not? So one word. Leave the guys with one word. What word are you going to leave them with, Nikkei?
Join.
Oh! Helen?
Powerful.
Cecile?
Village.
Oh! You guys are killing me with it today. Woo! I daren't ask, but I will, because you know she's going to come up with 5 words. She'll have a reason for each of those. Shell?
Opportunities.
Ooh.
Now you've got to come up with one.
Manifest. Manifestation.
Oh!
Go D. No, seriously, guys. I think it's 1 o'clock almost. How have we done the show for an hour? We ain't even said anything really.
Can I just say something before we go? So, because you asked about those who are watching and what's been good for them. So, and this one's very dear to me. So Louise Clark has been watching. She's been with us the last, I don't know, since most probably April. And she put that it was amazing getting to know you all and having the privilege of speaking on the show and also on International Women's Day. And International Women's Day was fantastic as a co-host. But I think the thing that brought tears to my eyes was when I introduced Louise, because I have known Louise since she was a teenager. So she's doing stuff. She's doing some big stuff out there in the community as well.
I know.
So I just wanted to say that, because that as you said, I was very like, oh look, it's Louise. Yeah, that was brilliant on International Women's Day. I loved it.
Yeah, and that's what we do. So if you've got something out there and you want to share it, we've got shows, we've got so many different platforms of different natures. So get in contact, simplydeesevents@gmail.com. Make sure you follow us. So for now, let's say goodbye, guys. See you later.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Next week, Nike, your friend, what's her name?
Shade Olajubu. She's a doctor. She's a psychologist. And what happened? We had the theme of loneliness for Mental Health Week. So she wrote a really nice column, which I share with you all guys. So yeah, so she's coming next week. She's currently based in Ireland. So there you go.
Ooh.
See, we travel far and wide for our show. Travel far and wide. So see you guys later. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.